Hi, Dr. Mr. Man Guy here. Um, it's been a long time since I've done a video. I had a very rough year last year, and a lot of family and home and all this other stuff going on, so I wasn't able to keep up on videos as I had hoped. But most of that has been sorted out, and I am looking forward to hopefully doing these more regularly again. And so today, what I want to talk about is actually something that it doesn't really have a. I don't have like a tutorial for you so much as kind of a philosophical sort of uh, perspective of the creative process. And so, what I'm going to talk about is the what it means to create. What is like the the idea of practicing creating. I think a lot of times people think of like the techniques that they use for their music as separate from the creativity side of their music. Um, there's like you've got I play the guitar, so I do you know all these techniques that I use to play the guitar, and I do tapping and sliding and bending notes and all this, and those are all techniques that are used as a tool to express yourself on the guitar. Um, but on the other side, they think kind of this creativity itself is kind of this nebulous thing that you can't really grasp because you don't have something tangible in front of you. Like when you have a guitar or a keyboard or a set of paints or your keyboard and you're writing something, you have something there. You have a tool to work with, so it's easy to see these are the things that I need to do in order to get what I want. These are the techniques that I need to learn and get better at and practice at in order to get better at playing the guitar or playing the keyboard or writing or whatever it is. Now, with creativity, you don't have that. You don't have something in front of you that you don't have like a creativity machine sitting in front of you with like a bunch of buttons on it, and then you could just click one and then, you know, yay, I've got something new. It doesn't work like that. But I think what people don't realize is that creativity is a lot like the idea of playing a guitar or playing keyboards or something. There are a number of techniques that you can use to achieve that end goal of being creative. You're using techniques to achieve being creative, much like you use those techniques on the guitar to play the guitar. So you the idea that creativity is something that just has to be in the moment, or you can't get better at it. Either you are or you aren't. It's crap. It's not true. It's something you practice. You can and whether it's conscious practice or not, it is something you practice. Every time you write something, whether you feel like you're practicing being creative or not, you are practicing being creative. So I think it's kind of useful to think of it like that, because then you can get into the mindset of, I'm going to sit down and practice being creative. And you will find that, as with anything that you practice, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. So, playing your scales on the guitar, which I never do, which is why I'm weak in the technical area of the guitar, the more you practice those, the better you get. The faster you can play, the more comfortable you are with those scales, the easier it is. And the exact same rule applies on the creative side of things. So if you practice some of these things that you use to be creative, whether that's playing around with time signatures, messing around with your note choices, changing tempos, um, screwing around with the instrumentation that you're using, how you're analyzing and revisiting something. Those are all techniques that you use for the creative side of things, and they can all be practiced. And again, as you practice them, the better you're going to get at them, and you're going to find that it's easier to come up with stuff, and you're going to have a lot more confidence with your creativity as a result. So, one of the things that I think a lot of people, one of the concepts that gets thrown out a lot is, this idea that I'm in a creative rut. I have writer's block, so I'm gonna just shut down and not write anything. I would like to do another video at some other point on the myth of writer's block, because I do believe it's a myth. But suffice it to say that you can get past that stuff, and you will find that you're able to get past that stuff more easily the more you practice the art of being creative, the more you try different things, the more of those tools you use on the creative side. As you familiarize yourself with them, you'll find it's easier and easier to reach out for this technique or this technique, and you're not gonna lack for ideas anymore. You're gonna find that it's a lot easier to sit down, and even if you're not feeling creative, even if you're not in that like, oh, I just want to create right now kind of mode, you're gonna find that you have the confidence to just sit down and say, I'm gonna write something right now, and in 9 times out of 10 it will be good. Whether or not it's great, that comes with time. You got to develop your ideas, as I've kind of gone through in some of the earlier videos. But just sitting down and doing it is the biggest, most important thing you can do to getting better at being creative. Just sticking with it, not shutting down when you get the thought that, oh, I can't be creative right now. That's a choice, and if you choose not to do it, then you're choosing not to practice being creative, and you're not going to continue to grow in your creativity until you get back to it and do it at a later time. So that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was a good topic to cover, and hopefully you find it helpful. Just go make something. Have fun creating, and go make some music.